I had promised to return when the colors had transformed the landscape. When the last lingering clouds of doubt had finally given way to the vividly, radiantly, brilliantly simple view that a basic change of colors could miraculously alter the fortunes of a small village.
It was a miracle, yeah.
Now everybody wants those colors.
Colors that have brightened the buildings and the prospects of Tannersville, New York, a rural community about 50 miles south of Albany. 10 years ago, before its multi-hued do-over, Tannersville was a drab and faded portrait of your standard issue over-the-hill country town. Not an acceptable sight for Elena Patterson, a native of South Africa and the most colorful resident in the history of Tannersville. How can I make such a grandiose claim? I've been to her house. Let's just say that Elena is drawn to color.
Clearly.
So are lots of other people, as Elena, her husband, and 2 sons have witnessed over time while viewing carload after carload of strangers drive by their hard-to-miss home in the nearby woods.
That just made me think, well, this is clearly something that we need to do in town.
Lure the visitors with alluring colors, and don't hold back. Make a statement, make a splash. What's the worst that could happen? That was Elena's bold proposal 10 years ago to the often hesitant merchants and landlords of Tannersville. Skip Pratt, owner of an underutilized building on a prominent street corner, was one of the first to let Elena have her artistic way with his tired-looking structure.
There'll always be some people that don't like the idea of change, but we needed the change.
And people were up in arms in the beginning, especially after the first coats of paint went on.
A creative conflict that first drew me to Tannersville back in the summer of 2003. After my initial story aired on Today, more media attention followed, inspiring more people to visit, prompting more business owners to take the colorful plunge. The mood was shifting, the tide turning. Investment dollars from the Royce Family Fund and other foundations and groups spurred a movement to preserve and rehab old buildings, including a multi-million-dollar renovation of the once-shuttered Orpheum Theater, where renowned musicians and dance troupes now appear. Last summer, jazz musicians from New York City traveled to Tannersville to lead a week-long workshop for local and visiting school children, adding yet another layer of artistic value to a village and a region blessed with yearly reminders that humans are naturally drawn to the spectacle of change. In the adjacent village of Hunter, New York, Kenneth Hamrick, director of the Piano Performance Museum, plays the same piece of music on pianos made from different materials by different makers in different eras, to make the musical point that it's the variance in tone and shading which makes life interesting.
We don't want uniformity.
Not at all.
Exactly. And you haven't seen the end yet.
For Today, Mike Leonard, NBC News, Tannersville, New York.